Thank you, Sarah. We are continuing to follow the latest from the tragic crash that happened overnight in D.C., and we are learning this afternoon that there are no survivors, but search crews are working to recover bodies of the remaining passengers. So far, more than 24 victims have been pulled out of the water. Natalie Brand has the latest from Reagan National Airport in Virginia.
Washington, D.C.'s fire chief says the rescue mission in the Potomac River has now turned to a recovery operation.
At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident.
Earthcam video shows the moment a commercial passenger jet and an Army helicopter collided in midair just before 9 p.m. near Reagan National Airport outside Washington, D.C.
Both the helicopter and the plane crashed in the river.
Video obtained by CBS News shows what air traffic controllers would have seen. The Black Hawk at the top of the screen appears to move directly in the path of the jet operated by PSA Airlines.
We don't know why the military aircraft came into the path of the PSA aircraft.
President Donald Trump is pushing for an explanation.
We'll find out how this disaster occurred and we'll ensure that nothing like this ever happens again.
The Army says the Black Hawk helicopter was on a training flight with 3 service members on board. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said on social media that the DoD is actively investigating.
It was a fairly experienced crew and that was doing a required annual night evaluation.
This is the first major commercial crash in the United States in around 16 years. Officials are hoping the black box flight recorder helps investigators figure out what happened.
Anytime you have 2 airplanes close together, they will then go to visual separation. The real question, of course, is why did that visual separation break down to this disaster that we have right now?
A number of figure skaters, along with their coaches and parents, were among those on board the plane, including 6 people from the skating club of Boston.
2 coaches, 2 teenage athletes, and the athletes' moms. It's a close, tight bond, and I think for all of us, we have lost family.
In a statement, U.S. Figure Skating says, quote, "We are devastated by this unspeakable tragedy and hold the victims' families closely in our hearts." Natalie Brand, CBS News, Reagan National Airport.
And we recently finished listening to President Donald Trump giving his update to this horrible crash. Not even 24 hours later, Trump is saying that DEI is what caused this crash. The president provided no evidence, but blames the previous administration, Democrats, and diversity hiring.
When I left office and Biden took over, he changed them back to lower than ever before. I put safety first. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first. And they put politics at a level that nobody's ever seen, because this was the lowest level. Their policy was horrible, and their politics was even worse.
The president and his cabinet went into more detail about why they think DEI played a role in this deadly incident. However, we want to emphasize that right now there is no evidence DEI played a role in this tragic crash. Texas Senator Ted Cruz released the following statement on X last night, saying, quote, "I am closely monitoring the situation at DCA." He goes on to say he'll receive a briefing from the FAA today. And East Texas Congressman Nathaniel Moran also speaking on this devastating plane crash. He posted on X saying in part, quote, "My prayers are with the affected families and those involved in the search and rescue efforts." This is a breaking news story that we are following throughout the morning. Stay with us on air and on our digital platforms. We'll bring you the latest updates as we learn more.